we're live from STS Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. For WTF News Desk, I'm BT. How the hell are you, Lance?
I'm right here in the Tangy Pickle Dorito Studios in Chicago. It's hotter than a St. Louis laundromat, I think.
Good God, not that hot. No, it's pretty damn hot, guys.
It's
as you
pushing
can tell.
90. It's pushing 90 here, so it is hot. You've got the air conditioning going. I got the major sunburn going, as you can see from just being outside for a little bit today. So if you're watching, you can see that. If you're listening,
we used
you can't
to say,
tell. I'll paint you a picture.
Yeah, I want to send you, I want to make a quick note is that we always talk about if you're listening or if you're watching, and then I did some editing and I always would do that on audio. I quit doing that, guys. We stream every episode. So when we say, if you're not watching, then you can always go and watch the very first part of it on my Facebook page. You can watch the full part on the STS Pod Facebook page, or, sometimes we put it up on YouTube with Championship Wrestling from Memphis.com. Real quick, big, still increases. I told you before the 10th of this month, my prediction is we'll have as many listens as we did last year. And, last year was a huge year. I feel like that guy that used to say every one of his new podcasts did tons of...
Twice as big as the last one. Yeah.
It's not that way.
Is that guy still around?
No, he's not. So we still are doing, 230 something percent more than we did last year. Thanks to Championship Wrestling from Memphis. I said that already. I'll say it over it again. They have a lot to do with this. A lot of new people are listening, so that's a cool thing. And a lot of people are going to the archives. We had a business meeting this week, and we talked about how, huge part of archives. Also, as you can see in the right above Lance, it's the Lawnmower 4.0. I just want to mention real quick, all live streams right now are coming to you by www.manscaped.com. Use the promo code STSPOD. But you, if you have a business, you can be in one of these other corners too. Yep. Counter, as we say in the South,
we got that bottom right corner is empty right now.
Yeah, and I'll make the other two empty. Hell, I'll put one over Lance's face if I have to.
No,
but
if you want
around my face, there you go.
I'm remember, over your face.
You can put the logo on the screen just like that. Email me or leave a voicemail. I'll put it on the screen during the episode. Dude, I'm ready. This has been May was a hell of a month. A lot of episodes from us. And a lot of craziness going on. So WTF, let's get started.
As usual, it's like we always say, the month will be about 10, 11 days into the month a lot of times. And I'll be like, damn, there hasn't been a single story yet. And then you get a barrage like 7 days in a row. Of
right.
One or two every day. So at the end of this, when I was putting this together this month, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be the longest honorables we've ever done for the Patreons because there's so many stories to try to stuff into WTF, and we do the top 10, of which the first is always the stip match. So, we've got basically 9 stories that we can work with. So I got to cram them in where I can. So we're going to start with number 10, cram them in when I can. That one guy you were referencing earlier is crazier than a pet coon. That's what I wanted to say, too, before we move on. So at number 10, we have our stip match, which generally comes to us from Tokyo, but this time it is not DDT. I'm mixing things up once again. We have on May 22nd, it was Tokyo Joshi Pro. The name of the card was Urgent Announcement, You Can't Meet the Prince in the Castle card, which is, again, the weird translations from them. So it was a 70-fan sellout, and it took place in the Tokyo OG basement, which I don't know what the hell that means, but Tokyo OG basement. So they had to kick out some guys, some wrestling podcasters from their mom's basement, maybe, to make room for this. So it was a 3-part match. Tokyo Joshi Pro is women's wrestling in Japan. So a 3-part match. It was featuring Hyper Misao versus Nodoka Tenma, and it was a charades, quiz, and vinegar shots match. So it was a 3-part match. They started with the gesture match, it was called, where when a girl got a 2 count on her opponent, she got to do charades, and a third party had to guess what the charades was. So Tenma won that one with the word octopus. I would have liked to have seen that. I would have liked to have seen somebody act out octopus. Then the second match was the Tojo quiz match. Was, again, if they got a 2 count, they had to answer a trivia question about Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. So Tenma got the fall, but answered the question wrong. So they restarted, and then Masao answered the question correctly. So now the match is tied. So we go into the deciding fall, which is the Mozuku vinegar match, part of the match, where they each had to take a shot of vinegar, which is disgusting, and then they had to wrestle. And on this one, a 1 count was going to win it, which is probably just because they wanted to make sure nobody puked, because taking a shot of vinegar and then wrestling sounds really disgusting. So they go to the match, they get the 1 count, and Masao wins that part of the match to take the match 2 falls to 1. So that is our crazy stip match. But we also have to make mention of, on May 5th, DDT, to celebrate what is known as Children's Day in Tokyo, had their card Audience 2021 Tour in Hamamatsu card. So they had told our friend Don Shako Dino that he had to do a match that was
we need
okay.
To get Don Shako Dino t-shirts, man.
Every month this guy's in here. So they told him that he had to do a match that was family friendly because it's Children's Day, which I looked that up. Right. Children's Day is just something to celebrate kids. It's pretty much what you would assume it is, to celebrate kids and kids' personalities and various kids things in Japan. So they had to do a match that was kid friendly. So the team was Don Shakudino and Antonio Honda versus Toru Owashi and Kazuki Harada. So in the match, his own partner, Honda, accidentally gets his head stuck up Dino's ass, which is referred to as anal power. He passes out on top of Harada for the pin. So they win the match. So I just love the fact that was what he decided to do because he wanted to celebrate Children's Day.
It wasn't that bad. No, that was
anal power match.
What they do, yeah.
So, and then keeping with the theme, on May 3rd on Raw, Hector Garza threatens to shove a rose up Drew Gulak's ass, which that's in the States. It wasn't Children's Day, and he promptly wins the match, sticks his rose in Gulak's trunks, and kicks him in the ass. So it appears that the rose is going up his ass. So there's a lot of ass play going on in our stip matches for the month of May. So,
oh man, I don't even know what to say. I never do when it comes to the stip match at number 10. It just seems like a lot of anal play, a lot of something just really strange always in Japan, and they have a different sense of humor in the sense that some of that we wouldn't see over here. But then we would see it over there. But when it comes to their porno and stuff, they actually block out a bunch of stuff. So it's real weird. It's like they block out the porno, but it's okay to have a live man sticking his head up somebody's ass. So it's really strange.
When you see me, if you're watching, when you see me drinking, I'm not drinking vinegar, just for the record. It's just water.
There you go.
Because I don't want to puke during the broadcast. So, all right, at number 9, we have Onita and the Fruit Market. So this is just weird in the location. So legendary Japanese wrestler Atsushi Onita, 63 years old, who I think when I heard 63, I'm like, man, that dude seems way older than that. But okay, 63. He announces he's launching the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling Explosion, or FMWE, based on the success of the Moxley Omega Exploding match. So I'm like, must have been the rest of the match, because it certainly wasn't the explosions at the end. That's for damn sure. So in this new promotion that he's starting, all the main events will be exploding barbed wire death matches. And the first show is scheduled to be July 4th at the Surumi Fruit and Vegetable Market in Yokohama. So that's the weird part, is why is this taking place at a fruit and vegetable market? So are there going to be turnips and potatoes and watermelons involved? I know there's going to be potatoes involved, but that's a different story. And if they have watermelons, then Gallagher might make a surprise appearance. But just the bizarre nature of the fact that they're going to do exclusively on every card exploding barbed wire death matches as the main event, and that it's there at a fruit and vegetable market.
But the idea is, I don't know if you've seen this before, but if I watch a bunch of cooking shows, you'll see a fruit market. It's actually not what we're thinking of as a fruit market. There is it's like an arena, and there's a spot where people walk around, and it's so big that, but the actual, if they do have fruit around, that is just really, really, really strange. So
yeah, I am looking forward to seeing some exploding, asparagus and watercress and stuff. So some ugly fruit and papaya. So I'm looking forward to that. I just don't understand the location. But anyway, all right, number 8, we got our action-packed crime blotter. We are going to have, let's see, this time we've got Buff Bagwell, we've got Anthony Rumble Johnson, we have Derek Lewis from UFC, and of course Sonya Deville. So we'll start with Buff Bagwell. Of course, arrested. You've seen the mugshot, all over the place. Arrested on, where is it? May 22nd for I'm estimating about the 27th time in his life he's arrested in Cobb County, Georgia. 11 misdemeanors, including speeding, following too closely, DUI, wrong side of the road driving, and so on. So this all stems from the August of last year, August of 2020 incident, which was very similar, where he crashed his car into a porta potty at the bus station. So we have to, of course, make mention of that. And Buff fled the scene due to his car having, quote, battery issues. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? You have battery issues, so you're going to hightail it and get the fuck out of there. So we got Buff Bagwell's the first one we're talking about. So what do you got to say about Buff? Buff is the stuff.
Yeah, I don't even. That P3 Radio covered this. I wish I had those sound drops, but he's supposed to go to. Speaking of a flea market, no, that was a fruit market. He's going to be at a flea market to tell everybody what the hell happened. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know what to think of Buff. I mean, here's a guy he's got a problem. Come on, guys. I mean, he's an alcoholic or a drug head. I'm sorry, but anyone that does all the stuff that he does. I mean, you got a friend, I got a friend. Everybody's got somebody they know that's an addict, and they do the same thing. They don't do anything wrong. So if you hear him, he's done nothing wrong. So
get yourself fixed, Buff. That's what we got to say.
Yeah, that's the way. All right. I mean, a huge fan of Buff.
Next, we've got Anthony Rumble Johnson, who was formerly with UFC, but now he's with Bellator, light heavyweight, arrested on May 7th on identity theft charges. So allegedly,
somebody stole his identity and he got
arrested. Somebody else's identity. So allegedly, Anthony Rumble Johnson used a stolen credit card number to buy plane tickets from Fort Lauderdale to Newark, and he could get sentenced to 5 years in prison for this. So I'm thinking, if you've seen this guy, enormous black dude, Anthony Rumble Johnson. So I'm thinking, if he shows up at the airplane. Well, no, I'm just saying, if he shows up at the airport with a plane ticket in the name of like Myron Moskowitz or something, they may, that may have set off some suspicion that may not be Myron Moskowitz. So we'll see. So we'll see what happens with him. Charges are still pending. Then we have the feel-good stories of the month, like you like to call them. Derek Lewis, UFC's Derek Lewis, on May 18th, sees his car being stolen. So he runs to his car, punches out this guy, Quentin Wright, and knocks him out. And Quentin Wright is then arrested and taken to the hospital. But what was interesting to me on this is that the charges were actually less than they could have been, because he got knocked out and he didn't actually steal the car. He was just attempting to steal the car. He didn't get away with it. So good on you, Derek Lewis, for knocking this idiot out. And then we wrap up with Sonia Deville's stalker. Philip Thomas is found mentally incompetent to stand trial in May, and he's sent to the mental house in Chattahoochee, Florida. So I hope
he's did that because you wanted to say Chattahoochee, didn't you?
Chattahoochee, yeah, Chattahoochee.
Yeah, I knew you wanted to say exactly. Chattahoochee.
Right.
Chattahoochee. No.
So he's locked up. Hopefully, he's locked up for a good long time. And a side note: hopefully, Sonya Deville buys some different suits to wear on TV, because she wears the same fucking thing on TV every week, and I'm just tired of that. If she gets any kind of settlement out of this, buy some new clothes, girl. That's all I gotta say. So that is our crime blotter for May.
All right, crime blotter. I'm going to take a technical break. So hold on. If you're doing it live with us, it's okay. You just stick with us. If this won't even be on audio, do me a favor and go to where it says cam mic at the bottom. Hit that and make sure your audio is your microphone.
For Mike, I don't remember the name of the microphone. Is it Realtek High Definition Audio?
No, go. See if you got it. What other default? What else?
And what then is microphone it? LCS.
I believe it's
microphone HD camera, or microphone Realtek High Definition Audio. Isn't it Realtek? Wasn't that the brand name of this thing?
Oh, I don't think so. No, Realtek is the stuff that's in the computer.
Okay, so then it's probably LCS.
All right.
LCS.
Change it to that.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't horrible, but I could tell the difference.
So it was recording off the computer instead of
now it's perfect. Yeah, I could tell the difference, but maybe me and you'd be the only ones that know what's going on, except the live people.
Maybe that got screwed up when I plugged in the camera or something.
And I wish we would have checked it before we got started. So, all right, go ahead. You just you just say blah blah blah. So
7, all right.
Just go into
So that is our crime blotter for the month of May 2021. No, moving on to number 7. Of course, we have the continuing saga of Drake Wirtz. So we can't shake this guy. Well, maybe now we actually.
I think so. I think we have. Yes.
But I think he's still going to surface from time to time. So on May 19th, WWE releases the out of control whack job Drake Wirtz, the referee in NXT. So we talked about it last month. He went into this tearful anti-mask testimony last month at the city council that masks help predators attack children. He was anti-mask in NXT. He missed he missed tapings. He missed the 5/11 taping, which is what actually got him canned the following week, causing delays. They had black wrestlers at NXT complaining about his racism. He walked out during a Triple H speech about Black Lives Matter where religion was brought up. He walked out. He criticized wrestlers who got vaccinated. So this seemed inevitable to me that this guy was going to get knocked out, So the only question is what took so damn long, So he was anti-mask. He even was anti-mask when it came to teachers in the schools because he said children's needs come first, and that's referencing the Bible. So he even wanted the teachers to be mask-free. The main thing was the kids. So we are losing Drake Wirtz from NXT at least. But like I told you, I think he's going to surface elsewhere. We'll still hear that name. I'm sure of it.
Just a strange individual, kind of on the fringe there. And, there are people that, the chances that there's somebody else in the WWE that believes what he does, and we'll mention it here in a minute, that it happens that way. And we see people on our Facebook like that too. I think he's a nut.
Just shut up. Just shut the hell up, dude.
He lost his,
have your beliefs and stuff, but you lost a good paying job.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You lost a job because, and he put stuff on Twitter. He lost the job. So what? Blah blah blah. Just crazy. All right, number 6.
Number 6. We have AEW fires Willie Urbina. So this just happened. So May 29th, Willie Urbina, Spanish announcer for AEW, is let go by a company, I have to mention, that rarely fires anybody. They've let go. You could probably count on one hand how many people AEW has let go in the 2 years that they've been around. So he gets caught, this guy, Willie Urbina, who you've seen, he's done TNA stuff before too, gets caught unaware that his mic is on, and he's making fun of Sheeta's accent. So he's talking about who's going to do the Sheeta translation, the Spanish translation of Sheeta's promo, ironically, the great promo, where she refers to DMD, Britt Baker, as dirty moron dumbass. So he launches into, he doesn't realize that he's on live mic, and that the feed that airs during the commercial break airs overseas. So it's being recorded and other people are going to hear this. It's not going to be heard in the States because it's during a commercial, but it's still going to be out there for people to hear. So he does the stupid stereotypical, 1950s Asian parody voice,
Right.
But it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me to understand because I don't speak Spanish. So he's talking in Spanish, but then he lapses into that sound effect that he does, the stereotypical, something you'd see from the Flintstones from the early 60s. It's so bad and so offensive. So they canned him like the same day. They canned him for making fun of Sheeta's accent. So we got Willie Urbina getting fired from a company that never fires anybody at number 6.
The part that got me here is that they're the Spanish announce team. All right. If it was the Americans, I would kind of say, okay, we're horrible. We make fun of all races, but here's the Spanish, and they're making fun of the Japanese because they can't understand when the Spanish wrestlers also have thick accents.
Yeah.
So I was just in shock. I was like, are you that stupid? And you can hear who's with him. I think Thunder Rosa's with him.
They said it was Thunder Rosa.
And
laughing.
I don't understand what she says, but you can tell by the tone of her voice, she is saying, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, she giggled. She did giggle at first, but I think she did bring it back in and say, "Stop, stop, stop."
Right.
So
right.
just
there was two different girls there. I think. I don't know. Hell, I can't tell.
Dasha
don't
Gonzalez
Spanish,
is with them. Dasha Gonzalez is usually announcing with them, and then they said Thunder Rosa was there, and it sounded like her. But like you said, if it was, say, the Japanese announce team, which they don't have one, but if it was the Japanese announce team making fun of, say, Penta's accent or Phoenix's accent or something, it'd be it's preposterous, So they would obviously, if JR had done it, they would have fired JR, So it's just something that you got to know, dude. You're on live TV. Your mics are going to be live no matter what. So Willie Urbina at number 6.
All right, guys, we're going off of Twitter and my personal Facebook page, but you can keep listening on the Shootin The Shiznit page. So stay there at the Shootin Shiznit page or go over to Shootin Shiznit, like the business, and keep listening to us going to a commercial break. All right, back from commercial. Thank you to manscaped.com, STS Pod, for actually sponsoring the live feeds. A big shout out. If you didn't join us at the very front of the show, the prize winner was Eric Kroll.
Catchphrase, Eric. No catchphrase. So what we now do, he's the winner, Eric Kroll.
That's right, the winner. So what we do is we've been kidding Eric on the AEW pay-per-view shows, Dynamite. And so the other night, I had to share this with everybody. If you did not get to see this, Lance came up with, this is the second one he's done, but the top 10 reasons or the top 10 new catchphrases that we can use for Eric. So I'm gonna play the video so we can sit back and watch. This is really funny.
A quick brief stoppage here, because before we get to MVP, you and I have talked about Eric having no catchphrase. So we thought we were going to be very benevolent, and we thought we were going to present Eric some options so that he would have catchphrases to choose from in the future. So Eric, we're going to do this for you. So we have sent it to the home office in Tightwad, Missouri for the top 10 proposed catchphrases for Eric Kroll. So here we go. So starting at number 10, every Kroll begins with K. At number 9, I love the smell of dollar store cologne in the morning. That is number 9. Number 8, when you care enough to give the Number 7, break me off another piece of that Kit Kroll bar. Number 6, Eric Kroll, melts in your mouth, not on your feet. I don't know what that's about. I'm not sure. Whatever he's into, my business. Number 5, like an ambivalent neighbor, Eric Kroll is there. Number 4, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Aquavelva. Number 3, Eric Kroll, I have moderate fun at a handful of places that I venture to. Number 2, and I love my bananas. And the number 1 proposed catchphrase for Eric Kroll, what happens in my pants stays in my pants.
So all right, yay!
I'm going to no-sell all of those. They were all pretty bad. Like Bobby Heenan thought those were lame in the 80s. Yeah.
Thanks, Humanoid. All right.
Awesome.
It was even funnier the second time.
Guys, thank you for playing. We do thank all the Patreons. A shout out to them. And Eric, thank you for letting us make fun of you having no catchphrase, and you won. So congratulations for winning. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You said we were going to do some shout outs here, so I want to give a quick one.
Oh, you got one. I did my shout out.
I want to give a shout out to my guy Pat Francis at the Rock Solid Podcast. This guy does at least two podcasts a week. One of my favorite music podcasts. If you've listened to The Record Store, you should listen to the Rock Solid Show as well. He does a great job. It's also got some comedy mixed in there too. So I think if you're a music fan, and there's wrestling fans that are into other things, God forbid you're into movies or music or other stuff, listen to Pat Francis and the Rock Solid Podcast. I highly endorse it. So, all right, that is my shout out. So we are up to number 5, which is Smut, which is social media uproar time. And man, are we jam-packed this time. We've got New Jack. We got Jim Cornette versus Rebby Hardy. We've got Machine Gun Carl Anderson, Charlotte Flair, Road Dogg versus Demi Lovato, and EC3. So we're going to start with New Jack. We are obviously not making fun of New Jack passing away.
No, this is hilarious, though.
Condolences to the New Jack family. But we have to mention this because the Busted Open radio show and Suplex City Limits, both, everybody races to be the first ones to make the announcements of things when major news happens. So in their haste, they both posted the picture of the actor who played New Jack in the Dark Side of the Ring documentaries as their obituary picture. So I was like, wait a second, that's not him. And I noticed it on SCL.
Yeah,
and you
but
noticed
the funny
it on
thing
Busted
was
Open.
that you actually, in a way, you text me to say, that's not him. Like, I'm right. This is not him, right?
Right.
And so a couple of hours later, we're making fun of Suplex City Limits, and I wanted to put, and I started to not put anything with anybody, but I was going to put, so the guy that played New Jack died too? Oh,
right.
my
What
God.
Are the odds? What a
so about
coincidence,
2 hours later, the other on Twitter, we said Busted Open actually did it. And I actually put on that tweet, I still have it, where I commented, did the actor die? And they took it down.
They took it down. Both of them took it down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you purport to be a wrestling journalist or podcaster or radio host, do some homework, for crying out loud. Do some homework. Could you imagine like Bill Apter or Dave Meltzer making that mistake? No, of course not. So
I want to say something too. I want to say something about this. You did a search of Google, and you said, where the fuck did they find these pictures at? Because you couldn't even find the pictures.
Right.
So that's funny thing. They had them waiting I guess they had them waiting for him to die so they could use that picture.
Because he was high on their Deadpool or something.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know.
Right. So just do some homework, people. And then, like you said, they both took the pictures down because we both embarrassed them. Basically, we both called them out. You did the Busted Open and I did SCL. So they took them down. So it's pretty funny. So next we have Jim Cornette versus Rebby Hardy. I think we've had this battle before.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Hardy was getting into it with Cornette online, on Twitter, of course, social media uproar time. It was relatively peaceful. It was relatively calm over the usual AEW topics that they battle over and that Cornette hates. So Rebby posts a video of Cornette wrestling a Ninja Turtle. So because, he's making fun of crazy shit that happens in AEW, so she posts that video of Cornette wrestling a Ninja Turtle. So Cornette responds, "Stay in your lane, chickadee. I don't play nice." So I'm looking forward to this because this is two of wrestling's loosest cannons, that are going to go at it. And it's inevitable it's going to get really bloody and ugly with these two. So then we have Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Hold on. Let me make one little quick comment here. The Ninja Turtle was Mark Curtis. Brian Hildebrand, one of our friends, and I almost wrestled the Ninja Turtle the next night after the Tom Robinson benefit. I almost did, but I had to go home because my dad was sick. But Brian was actually going to walk me through a match. He said, I can walk you through a match, and you're wrestling a turtle, so you'll get over. So
that
Brian
would be
Hildebrand.
Some footage we would need to see. We'd need that on YouTube if that really happened. That would
be awesome.
So you hitting the Ninja Turtle with the clipboard, that'd be great. So then we got dumbass Carl Anderson. Fucks up again. So first off, he's still always saying on TV, to this day, I'm still hearing him say hot Asian wife, which I don't know how much longer you should be saying that on TV these days. But anyway, so his hot Asian wife answers the phone from a call from him at 3 a.m. and hears women laughing in the background. And so she gets pissed. She seems like she's going to just go off on him. And she takes to Twitter and Facebook and wherever talking about his drinking problem and how he should get help. And we have children and let him get some help. He needs to get some help. And he needs to get some help for all the dick jokes. That's what I say. But anyway, so Carl Anderson fucks up again. Then we move on to Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair almost gets canceled because she simply likes a post from Gal Gadot, the actress who plays Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So Gal Gadot is Israeli and posted something about the fact that, there's all the war and all the bloodshed and all the no peace in the Middle East. So Gal Gadot posts something that's pro-Israel. Charlotte simply likes the post and then takes a beating, because people are just getting on her ass for liking that post. I'm like, first off, Gal is saying something pro her country. So
how do they even see that shit? That's what I want to know.
Exactly.
What are they doing? Yeah.
Charlotte has to take down the like just to get people off her fucking back.
Was that Biggs that did that? No.
Man, what a stretch. So then we've got Road Dogg, Brian James versus Demi Lovato. So singer Demi Lovato comes out as being non-binary on May 23rd, meaning she uses the pronouns they and them. So some radio host in New York, Matt Siegel, who I don't know who this guy is. I'm friends with a radio host in Chicago named Matt Spiegel, but Matt Siegel makes a joke about Demi Lovato, and he's making jokes about it on the air. His bosses tell him to stop, and he walks off the air. I don't know how any of this relates to Road Dogg, but this radio guy gets told and scolded by his bosses to stop making jokes about Demi Lovato. So at this point, this is where Road Dogg commends him for standing up for what he believes in against this secularism, which is what he said. So I'm like, first off, if you're going to stand up for anything, stand up for comedy, because it's bullshit that somebody gets in trouble for making jokes.
For making fun of somebody. That's right. That's the thing that pissed me off. But Road Dogg, let me tell you one of Road Dogg's friends, Drake.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So him and I'm not backstage, but you could see a lot of likes and stuff that Drake was putting up on before he got fired. So Road Dogg kind of, to me, if I was Road Dogg, I'd just stay out of this. I stay out of it too. I got a lot of jokes about her too. She got mad at a yogurt place because they had a low-fat yogurt. God dang, come on.
Oh, yeah, she had to walk past the low-fat yogurt.
Yeah, so they were shaming her.
So they were making fun of her body image or something.
So,
here's a thought, sweetheart. Not everything is about you.
No, but it is. It is.
News break. Not everything's about you. And then we wrap up Smut this month. We wrap up Smut with EC3. So EC3, Ethan Carter III.
Oh my God, this guy's had a hell of a month. I mean, last 6 weeks has been horrible for this guy. So.
He's been ill. He's been injured. So he posts this long, rambling post about his health struggles between the injuries, the infections, his body shut down, of these various things. So he posts this long, incoherent, long-winded thing, but he has to include that he was so lethargic that it affected his hygiene. And that's where I feel like this quote has to be in here. So EC3, in all of his health struggles, he said that ambidextrous wiping is not my strong suit. So I just felt like I had to get that in Smut, because ambidextrous wiping, which was a great album by Queensryche back in the day.
It was,
but
I thought that was that band. I thought it was your house band. That was your house band.
Although maybe next TRS we might use ambidextrous wiping. So ambidextrous wiping, not his strong suit. So if you think about it, try that next time and see how that works for you. You know.
It doesn't work. Just put it that way. I had a bad
scientific
shoulder.
Proof from
I didn't know. I had a bad shoulder. My right shoulder was bad, so I had to use my left hand, and it just don't work well. So yeah,
I thought maybe the wife had to get involved or something.
I know.
Kayfabe. Okay. All right. So number 4. We're up to our dramatic reading for this month.
Man,
so
we need some music for dramatic reading. Next time I'll come up with some music.
So we have Dana White's monthly rant. This is getting to be a monthly feature, I feel like. Dana White's monthly rant. So at a press conference on May 15th, Dana is asked about possibly booking a freak show fight, that some of these other MMA groups do, freak show fights.
Thriller's been doing,
so George, it was supposed to be, the proposed fight is George St. Pierre, GSP, as we like to call him in the business, versus Oscar De La Hoya, who would be ODLH, I guess, in the business, which that fight is stupid. It's a stupid fight, but Triller wants to do this fight, like you said, and they want Dana to release GSP to be able to fight, because even though GSP says that he's retired, he's still under contract to UFC. So here are Dana's thoughts. This is the rant. We've got Dana's thoughts on Triller president Ryan Kavanaugh, as read by our very own Brian Tramel. So take it away, Brian.
Don't even ask me about these idiots. Who gives a shit? Does anyone give a shit? I don't give a shit what they think. You think I care what Thriller thinks? I don't even take their calls. This idiot calls me every day, texts me on every day. Please answer my call. Please talk to me. Why won't you talk to me? Because I don't give a fuck about you. Do your thing. Leave me alone. Fucking doing whatever it is you're doing. Knock yourself out. I could care less. I have no interest in talking to any of those idiots. They can do their thing. Do your thing. Something about doing your thing. Stop talking about me. What do you give a shit what I'm doing? Go do your thing. I get it, but get out of here. What are you doing? I don't even know what you're doing. What is this thing you're trying to build? What are you doing? What do I have to do with it? Or my guys, do your thing. What are you doing? Are you starting an MMA organization? There you
do
go.
your thing. Yes, that read as exactly as Dana White. So I think he's telling them to do their thing. I think
he is. Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing,
though? What are they doing?
How many times did he have to say, "What the fuck are you doing?" I just can't imagine having listened to that live. I'd be like, man, this dude has lost his fucking mind. You know, to hear him do that live at the press conference would have been priceless.
All right. No, 3, 2, 1 to go. And before we get to it, we're going to let us talk.
There it is. If you're watching us, there's the cologne.
Awesome cologne, by the way.
I keep it close to at the studio here because you never know when you might get a visitor in the studio. So
Richard thought it was just ball cologne. We want everyone to know it's not just for your balls.
I spray it like on my neck or on my wrists, where you're supposed to spray cologne, not down there. Don't need it down there. So, all right. So should we get back to the countdown?
Yes, let's please do that.
All right. So at number 3, we've got John Cena apologizes to the country of China, the entire country. He's apologizing to China. So May 25th, John Cena, star of the new Fast and Furious 9, easy for me to say, he apologizes to China for not Joni Laurer, but China, the country, for inadvertently referring to Taiwan as a country in previous promotional interviews. So he said, Taiwan is the first country that can watch F9. And he said it in Mandarin, which that's an accomplishment that he speaks fucking Mandarin. That's insane. China considers Taiwan part of China, despite the fact that they have a separate government and it's a separate entity. But China still considers Taiwan part of China. So Cena has to backpedal, again in Mandarin, and says that he loves and respects the Chinese people. So some people accept the apology. Some still will not accept the apology. I guess I don't get it. I don't know if this is akin to like saying Arkansas is not part of the United States, or something, I don't know.
It is. That is actually what it was, is that made everyone think that he's a dumbass because he didn't know that that's what China considered it. And that would be like him talking about Texas. If Texas was a country and not part of the United States. I mean, that's the way it is. But here's the crazy thing. It tells you how pissed these people were. You said some of them accepted. Well, they had
some accepted, some did not.
They had a big opening weekend, but the next weekend, it died. Absolutely died at the box office. They said, fuck you, John Cena. You got to know that it's not a country, damn it. No, it's not a country.
It's all John Cena's fault. Hey, I give him props for knowing Mandarin. That's fucking impressive.
He did that a few years
Raw,
back.
I remember him talking in Chinese, so speaking Chinese, whatever. So I don't want to get called by the cancel culture on that. So, all right, at number 2, we have a lot of lucha news. We had a lot of lucha news that we're going to roll into here at number 2. So we start with Tenny Ablas Jr., So he is voted out on a TV dance contest in Mexico City. So he's voted out. I guess it's like a Mexican version of Dancing with the Stars. So he's voted out. He goes and whacks his pro partner, who's named Mackie Gonzalez. He whacks her in the ass, and she gets pissed. So they get voted out. He whacks her in the ass. She gets pissed. She walks off the set, and the judges criticize her. They're pissed at her because she's unprofessional for walking off the set. So she got mad.
Yeah. That's the part that was worse right there.
Right. So that is a big thing. On May 14th, that happened. So we stick with Tenny Ablas. It turns out he's another one of the luchadors who's running for mayor. So this one, he's running for mayor, and Gustavo Madero.
No, that's his dad running for mayor, right?
Oh, it's the dad? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the dad, I think.
So, so the dad is running for mayor. So we got the whole Tenny Ablas family in trouble here. So dad's running for mayor of the district of Gustavo Madero. So he's in a debate, and in the debate, he is asked about LGBTQIQ plus rights. So I'm like, you can't just say gay rights anymore. So you got to say the whole thing, which is LGBTQIQ plus. So he's asked about the rights, and he doesn't answer. So he changes the subject and speaks about like unwed mothers or something altogether. So when he gets criticized for this on May 23rd, he claims that his mask affected his hearing. And he didn't hear the question, so he couldn't answer the question because the mask affected his hearing. So there we go. So both Tenny Ablas boys in some hot water in May. So then we move on to El Vikingo, who throws a dangerous 5-year-old after a match. So Vikingo loses a match in Mexico City. It's an outdoor card. A 5-year-old kid runs up to him, and Vikingo is a heel, so the kid chokes him because he's a heel, and he's pissed. He doesn't like him because he's a heel. So Vikingo, and I'm thinking, if a 5-year-old chokes me out, it's got to feel like a mosquito, basically. You're not even going to feel it. So Vikingo picks up the kid and throws him a couple yards, and he gets knocked out, hitting the concrete. So an angry mob attacks Vikingo, but the cops break it up. No charges have been filed yet. But this guy, he throws a dangerous 5-year-old. So we got to make sure those 5-year-olds, we keep them under control. So then we move on to Lady Apache, also running for mayor. I think every fucking luchador these days is running for mayor.
I think so too, yeah.
So she's running for mayor of Alvaro Obregon district. And I just want to make mention, she's been married to Gran Apache, Brazo de Oro, and Chessman. Sandra Gonzalez has been married to those 3 luchadors. So hopefully
she has a type. She has a type. Leave her alone.
Yeah, old luchadors is her type. So hopefully her political skills are better than her marriage skills. And then sadly, we're going to wrap up with something that just broke today. Exotico's Jesse Ventura, which is a great name for an Exotico, and Pasión Cristal say they were harassed and abused by an Uber driver for their sexuality. So apparently they got in the car dressed in their gimmick or something, and the Uber driver got pissed. So they say they were harassed and abused by the driver. Police arrive and arrest the luchadors, which is crazy. They side with the driver. So that crazy story, happened in May. And then literally today, it's announced that Pasión Cristal passed away this week due to an accidental drowning. And so thoughts and prayers off to hit her. But just a weird story that got even weirder when one of the participants in that story actually died this week. So I couldn't believe it when I read that today. So much lucha news in Mayo of 2021.
Throwing kids. And then we threw a snake on the AEW pay-per-view.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had Rusev Day through the snake, or whatever was in the snake, in the bag, purported to be Damien. So, wait, what's his name?
All right, number one,
not
man.
Rusev
number
anymore.
One.
So, all right, number one is MMA fighter murders his fiancée, bro. So on May 15th, MMA fighter Philip Keller calls 911 to report that his fiancée, Alicia Campitelli, is dead and that a burglar did it. So the police arrive, see that he also is injured, and begin to suspect, maybe something about the story is not on the up and up because he's injured too. So they find a surveillance video of Keller using her ATM card after neighbors reported hearing gunshots and before the 911 call took place. So that really just makes this guy look completely guilty because the neighbors report the gunshots, then he's using, chronologically, he's using the ATM card, and then he calls 911. So they also have taped calls where he is heard saying to somebody on the other end, "I killed her, bro. I killed her high as fuck." So I'm like, first off, don't trust these bro guys. That's what I got to say. Between Vince Russo, Matt Riddle, and now this guy with the bro shit. So anyway, we have Philip Keller, who was 2-6 in Titan FC. That was his fighting career. So confesses to killing his girlfriend, bro, on May 15th. So
he
that
was
is wrapping up.
He's shooting her twice in cold blood. He was on Molly and confessed the whole thing. So we'll see what happens to him, and we'll update it. As you can tell, he's doing them fucking papers.
He was high as fuck, bro.
As high as fuck. All right, guys. If you are a Patreon member, stick around because we're going to do honorable mentions. We still have about 10 more. 10 more. If not, guys, remember, same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, and Lance knows, I love my mama.
And I love bananas, and I have fun everywhere I go. Thank you, Eric Kroll.
Good God, bananas.